hardly lame at all now, James replied, waving both his wings gracefully in proof. And we weren't much more than kittens when we flew all that way before. I'd like to see the old alley just one more time. Remember the lovely, smelly sardine cans in the garbage? Harriet said. Remember how you flew up and scared that huge dog? James said. So James and Harriet made up their minds to go visit their mother, Mrs. Jane Tabby, in the city. Thelma and Roger chose to stay home with their friends, Susan and Hank. Think how sad the children would be, said Roger, if they came tomorrow and we were all gone. And indeed, the children were worried when they came to the old barn next morning and found 2 of the flying tabbies missing. They called and called for them. Roger and Thelma purred twice as much as usual, but could not explain where their brother and sister had gone. So all of them there in the old barn were anxious, thinking about Harriet and James, and wondering, where are they now? Will they come back safe? Chapter 2. Harriet and James were flying along through a fine, soft rain. When daylight came, they were glad of the rain and clouds that hid them from sight as they flew. As James said, nobody looks up when it's raining. Looking down, Harriet saw hills and fields and roads below them, but she did not see the city. I think we should be going more to the left, James, she called through the raindrops. Why? James asked, flying closer. My instinct tells me so, said Harriet. We have to trust our homing instinct. It will take us straight back to the place where we were born. James was impressed. He followed his sister. But at last, when they were resting on a branch of a big tree, he said, Harriet, we've been flying for hours. Shouldn't we at least have seen the city by now? Maybe it moved, Harriet said. Of course, I'm a slow flyer, James said gloomily. You're just as fast as I am, his sister said, also gloomily. Maybe my instinct is out of practice. What does your instinct tell you? It doesn't say anything, James replied. But my nose says something stinks in that direction. Harriet lifted her cinnamon nose and sniffed. She half opened her mouth to smell the smells only cats can smell. A puff of wind blew by. Aha, she said. Garbage, that's it. So they flew on, resting on a treetop or a roof when they were tired, waking in the depths of the night and flying on again. They could see well enough, for the lights of the great city ahead of them made all the cloudy sky glow with a dull, yellowish light. When morning came again, there was nothing beneath them but rain-wet roofs and deep streets crowded with shiny car tops and umbrellas, mile after mile after mile. James said nothing, but his left wing ached, and he wished they hadn't come. Harriet said nothing, but both her wings ached, and she wished they hadn't come. They sniffed the wind, and whether it was their homing instinct that guided them, or their noses that recognized the familiar smells, they flew slowly past all the high office buildings and apartment houses to the narrowest, dirtiest alley in the oldest, poorest part of the city. There they alighted on the corner of a roof, folded their wings, and looked down. This can't be our alley, James, Harriet whispered. Where's the dumpster? They both thought of that dumpster, which they'd been born under and played in as kittens, as their home. And it was gone. I don't know. Everything looks strange, James whispered back. But I'm sure this is the place, aren't you? Harriet nodded. But if the dumpster's gone, she said in a very small voice, where's Mother? After a long